Reagan sucked. George W. Bush sucked. George H.W. Bush sucked. Clinton sucked. Obama was terrible. Obama said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay and bring out, give everyone cheap health care. No one does anything. This is not new. So the fact Donald Trump put one of the biggest perverts anyone's ever seen in jail is a win. Do not take this from the youth. They need it. There hasn't been a fucking hero since Charles Lindbergh. Name one. That's why celebrities are paid so much money. They're bought to suck. LeBron James, a physical hero, a winner. He's paid so much money that he talks about black privilege or white privilege and fucking, women's rights. There's a reason they're so overpaid. Chris Pratt, who was my buddy, we used to hang out at parties and just talk about guns and shit. When shit hits the fan, he's a Christian, good guy. James Gunn, everyone signing a fucking petition. Chris Pratt follows right along. Don't fire James Gunn. Chris Pratt's no hero. We need a man that said, fuck all of you. Trump didn't need the money. He took abuse for years, and he put a pervert in prison. If you can't take that win, go fuck yourself. It's true. Let's talk about the Disney kid that just got murdered. Don't act like the government used to be good. Oh, someone called it. Guys, it's always been like this. The battle is always right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. It's all it is. So when people say, oh, well, the wall is important, then you fucking build the wall, fag. You're sitting at home watching reruns of Ellen. You're just stuffing your face. You're profiting on the cheap labor that comes in here. And there's nothing more infuriating than that to me. You think it's someone else's job to build your wall, bitch? The government is running amok because of our sin. Muslims are appealing to people because they reject sin more than Christians currently. Let's face reality. They'll stand up to usury and sodomy more than the Anglicans and the Pope. And that's why people are drawn to them. And so when I talk about that and you call me some kind of fucking heretic because I'm listening and wondering what's going on, you're the coward. People are drawn to people that can withstand sin. They can stand up to the devil. They can say, I'm not going to take money to put my kid in harm's way. In England, the Muslims went into the school board and said, don't teach my kid sodomy. Give them respect. You didn't do it. All right, England, ever since the Muslims come, Tommy Robinson's going to save us. Go tell the school not to teach your kids about sodomy. Get some, BB. Yeah, it's true. True. Like, the arguments against Islam are starting to become absurd. They're starting to become almost like a fantasy. Like they're like, did you know that 70% of Muslims in England are against gay marriage? I'm like, what is this Islam you're talking about? Did you know that Muslims are intolerant of pornos? Guys, did you know? Whoa, that's a great super chat. Thank you, buddy. I'll read this whole... Did you know that Islam says Jesus, peace be upon him, and they believe that he's sent from God? It's weird how Breitbart and CNN and Fox News, none of them seem to let you guys know about that, huh? Dear Owen, here are some fake Jewish rectangles for you to use. I don't have many of them, yet I feel as though I'm wasting the prime of my life just to acquire them. I want to start off by thanking you for your rock-solid commitment to the truth. You've helped a great many people, including myself, see the lies that are thrown upon us. There are too many to count. Your comedy and your live stream are greatly appreciated. There are tons of people who have got your back. Thank you. I wanted to write to you for some advice and hopefully to start a healing and rebuilding process in myself. I do not want to be a liar. I do not want to be addicted to porn. I do not want to be a narcissist hypocrite. I do not want to be a victim, and I do not want to be a gamma. Yet like Paul in Romans 7:15, there are very things, these are the very things in which I find myself trapped. I really needed to hear your comments on despair Yet despite the fact that I know that I play into the devil's trap, I still find myself despairing from time to time. Buddy, we all do sometimes. Just to let you know, we're all fallen. But listen, I'm going to read all of it, but the thing you have to understand is the fact you want this, the fact that you testify, nigga. It's like you say, I don't want to be addicted to porn. I do not want to be a narcissistic hypocrite. That's what it is. That logos means the word. Your words are very, very important. And when you live a clean life, when you live a life of honesty, just your words just flow. God, I don't have a script. I originally just titled this like The Dog That Doesn't Bark, Shaquiro, with like a bunch of E's. And some of this is pretty fucking good. Some is retarded, but like when you speak honestly, you don't run out of shit to say.
According to James, there is a certain type of person most susceptible to a rapid personality transformation, and it is the type of person most in need of one. Rapid personality transformations do not occur very often to those content with life, but instead are more likely to occur to those who have reached the darkest pits of despair. Acute suffering, a prolonged state of depression, a pernicious addiction, or utter disillusionment with life are the fertile soil from which the psychological rebirth is manifested. The securest way to the rapturous sort of happiness of which the twice-born make report has, as an historic matter of fact, been through a more radical pessimism than anything that we have yet considered. Many, however, are those who descend into a living hell, but relatively few are those who experience the transformation of self that leads to a reaffirmation of life. What differentiates those who remain locked in their misery from those who break free of it? By turning to myth, that most ancient source of the psychology of man, further clues about this process can be discerned, for the rebirth is one of the most common themes of mythology. Countless are the stories in which a hero or heroine is presented with great challenges only to overcome them and in the process to experience a radical transformation in their character. What many of these stories share in common is the element of the sacrifice. The rebirth is only granted to the man or woman who first appeases the gods. But we do not need a god to understand the necessity of the sacrifice, as there is a psychological explanation for why a sacrifice can engender a radical personality change. Sacrifice, writes Carl Jung, always means the renunciation of a valuable part of oneself, and through it, the sacrificer escapes being devoured.
Что вот Штаты, в них живет 5% населения планеты. И эти 5% потребляют почти 50% энергоресурсов, добываемых всем человечеством. А теперь представьте, мы вот та самая мафия. Значит, мы смотрим на это дело, на Штаты, а Штаты же являются маяком для всего человечества. То есть пропагандируется американский образ жизни, и там даже наши соотечественники, которые туда убежали, значит, жить в Штаты и живут на пособие по безработице, так называемом, на велфаре, они живут лучше, нежели бы они здесь, в СССР, в России работали. А теперь представьте, мы рабовладельцы. Мы смотрим на это дело, на Штаты. Значит, это маяк. Рабы там не работают и живут лучше, нежели бы они работали. Нам нужны такие вот масса людей, неработающих рабов? Не нужно. Поэтому Штаты в этом смысле обречены. И
You got her, Foucault. Omega's our plurality.
You don't belong here, do you, Alana?
I want an attorney.
The Alana Winston that belongs in 2023 is actually sitting in the next room. She's about to be released with an apology for the misunderstanding that took place here today. The Alana Winston that I'm looking at, however, doesn't exist. At least not yet. So tell me, what would a person who doesn't even exist need with an attorney?
Fuck you.
Why did you come back?
You haven't seen what I've seen. We have to stop the grid.
When does time travel become possible?
You've replaced freedom with the illusion of safety. But we're not safe, Foucault.
Neither are you.
I'm glad you're here.
You know, this isn't really a fire that would have gotten out of control, though. There's a good perimeter, and there's a lot of...
What's that?
It's my emergency pager. 5-alarm fire broke out downtown, 6 blocks from the diner. Why'd you bring me out here?
When you stay downtown, you die. We tried to stop the fire hundreds of times. We stopped the electrical fire, and then an oven fire breaks out in the kitchen. We stop the kitchen fire, then 3 teenagers forget to put a cigarette out next door. Fire always happens, you always die, I always live. Even when you manage to rescue a few people, you never make it out. So, I started looking for another exit to the maze, away from the fire. I spent days searching for locations. I calibrated what would be the shortest safe distance away, and then it hit me. Here, so we used to go camping with Dad.
Firemen don't run from fires.
Something always happened. It brought you back to the fire or killed you on your way out of town. But this time, I saved you this time.
I don't need you to save me, Shane. Why do you even care? You've talked to me like twice since Dad died.
Yeah, but look, if I could create a time loop that goes back to when...
I don't care about time loops, Shane!
If you don't care, why did you come?
Because I wanted to spend time with my brother. Give me the key, Shane.
No, I can't do that.
Give me the key, Shane! People are dying!
No. Matt.